Well, I am so sorry I did not bring you guys along for this. It happened all at once, and then it was short time of getting it and work schedules and stuff like that. But I bought this sight unseen, which I generally do not recommend. I'd actually seen the truck before, but it's been several months and never really looked at it. But guy told me that it had quit, and this is somebody else. I wouldn't even talk to the owner. Said that it had quit running and he just wanted to get rid of it. It was his father-in-law's truck. And so he said $500. And I said, well, do you know what year it is? He said, well, I think it's a 95 and it has, he thinks the fuel pump's bad. And I said, well, it's a V8 or V6. He says, well, I'm pretty sure it's a V8. And I said, well, it's an extended cab short bed, isn't it? Two-wheel drive? And he says, well, I think it's a long bed. And I said, well, I don't remember, but it don't make any difference. So I get a hold of the guy. I didn't have his phone number, so I had to go through third party, but I got his number and I said, hey man, I'm interested in your truck. Said if it looks the same as kind of the last time I seen it a year ago or 6 months, however long it's been, I said, I'll give you the $500 you're asking for it. He says, okay, but it's as is. So I said, all right, I understand. So anyway, it ended up being backed in an alley, parking where I could not get it out myself. So I had to ask somebody to come help me get it out of the alleyway. But anyway, I loaded it on the car trailer, drug it home yesterday. Battery was completely dead. I stuck my old Optima battery I use from 2007 that I use for the car trailer winch, and I'd already winched this thing on. Put it in there, and I had him kick the key on, and I could hear the fuel pump wind up. I said, well, let me see if it's got fire. So I got up there, and he cranked on it for a second. Nothing happened, so I went and got a spark plug and put in it, and when he went to start it again, it backfired through the throttle body. And I said, well, try it again, and he did, and it started. So that, you know, because after it backfired, it kind of told me it was firing. It may not be firing right. I assumed it skipped time or something. Well, either way, it was firing. So I put the plug wire back on it, had to shut it off, put the plug wire, and I'd already checked the body fluids, and I couldn't see antifreeze, and I couldn't see oil. So I said, just bump the starter. If it fires, shut it right back off again. He started up, it fired. I heard power steering pump whine for a second. He shut it off. So that's where it ended yesterday when I picked it up. So this morning, I come out here. I put 3 quarts of oil in it before it got to the check mark. I put a half a gallon of antifreeze in it, which is not good for these. But what I didn't know, because he's bringing the title by tonight, is this is actually a 97. As soon as I popped the hood yesterday, I knew it was the Vortec, which was not available in 95, if I recall. And it's a 350. And I thought, well, good grief, that's, you know, $500. If it starts and runs, it's almost worth that around here, because so many farmers have these motors and they're getting harder to find that still run. It has 157,000 miles on it. So anyway, the clear coat's coming off like normal, but being from Kansas all its life, look at this. For you guys who don't understand what I'm looking at here, there is zero rust on this thing anywhere. I don't know what you're looking at because it's kind of bright out here today. It's cold, but it's bright, and there is some body damage and some scratches. But that's really about the extent of it, besides this rubber thing coming off around the window. And like I said, the clear coat and a crack in the mirror. But outside of that, this thing, and really bad carpet. But the interior, the seat's not all tore up. This carpet looks like crap. The headliner isn't any better, which I hadn't even looked up till just now. But, you know, the rest of it is not all that bad. So anyway, I put the fluids in it, and it started up, and immediately I also put power steering fluid in it, and it fired up, but it backfired through the throttle body again first, and then it fired up. So I don't know what actually was originally wrong with it, but it has a pretty good mist to it, and the check engine light came on pretty quick. So I have a feeling it's going to need plugs and wires, but it's running now. It doesn't sound bad. I'm not hearing any knocking or anything like that, but I do know it's missing. So I'll go through, because I don't think it's ever had plugs or wires, and judging by, and I spilled some transmission fluid there putting in the power steering, so. But I know it needs valve cover gaskets, plug wires, I'm sure, cap, rotor, you know, the belt's cracked pretty good. It was neglected, but the one thing I saw when I just got out of it a few minutes ago was I wonder where all the oil went. She's got a pretty good puddle that's already formed, but it's coming off of the filter. So I don't know if these use a standard filter, because the four-wheel drive use an adapter, and they put the filter at a funny angle. But this, I think this goes right to block. I think this, the filter's leaking. So I think we'll be all right there, but the thing actually runs pretty good besides the mist, and I haven't got it off the trailer yet. I haven't checked heat or air, but so far everything I checked seems to work out. So I've already got somebody who's wanting to buy this. I'm sorry I did not bring you along to begin with. I thought about it after I just hit the key. I thought, man, I should have had you flick it over with me, or I show you how much oil was in it and, you know, everything like that. Still on my car trailer, obviously. But it has 157, 173. It has a service engine light, obviously, and that's because of the mist. I haven't put my code reader on it, but it's holding 40 pounds of oil pressure. Temperatures come up. It's charging the battery. It's got fuel in it, but I'm thinking, I don't know where he got gas or how old it is, because I only seen this, I worked with this guy for 3 years. I've only seen this truck twice, so I don't think he drove it that much. And it's really, really dirty. You probably can't see it. I know the clear coat's coming off, but it doesn't look like it's had a bath in a long time either. Missing the radio knobs, which is not uncommon, but I don't know. It doesn't sound terrible, but what I'm trying to do is let it go through a complete heat cycle, because for some reason it did not start for him, and I don't know if it's bad gas because of the mist. It could possibly be out of time a bit, but I don't know why it didn't start. I'm sorry about that annoying doorbell alarm. I apologize, but anyway, I don't know yet, but well, let's find out if some stuff works here. I'm gonna go to heat since it's 45 degrees. Put it up here. Well, it didn't actuate, which I know they have an actuator down there for this fan speed control, but I don't know about the that button is doing nothing. But it is warm air. What I can feel coming out is hot. Let's go to air conditioning, which I have no doubt will not work. I heard it kick on. Well, I mean, I didn't feel it on the engine. No, I don't think I got air conditioning. I guess I can get out and look at the compressor to see if it's running. Negative. That's not a big deal right now. That's not my concern for winter. But, well, I will definitely video this more. I mean, I have another project going, but get that turned off. Well, dare you hit the window button? Hey, it goes up and down. How about this one? Yeah. All right, well, the windows work. How about power mirrors? Oh, look at there. It's broke, but it works. I did get 3 keys, but if it has keyless, I did not get the yeah, the deal with it. But I haven't looked through this. There's a piece of rubber trim laying back here that I assume came out from around one of the doors. Let's go over on that other side. I think that's where the rubber's missing, unless it's from this side. I wonder if it's from around that third door. All right, the doors open both from outside. Yeah, see, here's part of that. This is really common with these, especially if you get them off a little bit once and close the door on them. They kind of get a memory, because rubber's stupid. It likes to go back to the way it was. I'm not really sure where the rubber came from, but here it is. It must come around from between the doors, maybe. I don't know. We'll look at it. But I'm going to pull the entire interior out of this and take the carpet down to a car wash a headliner, I'm not really sure what to do. They charge about 200 bucks to fix them. I think if I take it down myself, they might, but still like 100, 100 and a half. I might see if I can find one on Rock Auto or eBay or something. And because that looks pretty bad, but I may not do anything. It's a $500 truck. I figure with that, it's missing a door thing here too, cover. It may be in here, it may not, I don't know. I have to look around later. Hey, they actually close good. It's, yeah, she smells like she's burning a bit fat because you can tell it's missing a couple of cylinders. So I'm just trying to let the thing get completely hot. Like I said, just to see about the restart on it, because I don't like it. That's twice it backfired through the throttle body. It could be, like I said, because it's missing. Because I don't know what's bad. I don't know if it's plugs, wires, cap. I don't know if it's all of it. It could even have bad compression on one cylinder. I mean, I don't know. So, but it's running. It doesn't sound bad. So, I don't know, pretty happy with it. I want to shut it off now and we'll refire it. I'd put it in gear, but not only is it still chained down, but the car trailer is actually not hooked to anything. And I don't want the thing to fall off, the trailer to fall off the boards. I got we'll fire it right back up. So I don't think it's something getting hot like a coil or something in a distributor, because that's something I've heard, you know, I've had happen before. Fords I've had more trouble with than the Chevys. Usually the Chevys just die if you lose that module inside the distributor. And when you lose that, it's your thing just dies and it won't refire. I had a couple of Fords that had that that module was hooked to actually bolted to the side of the distributor. And what I found with it was, the warmer it got, the worse it ran, and then if it was hot, it would either die or not restart. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with the $500 purchase so far. Of course, I haven't put it in gear yet. I'll probably service this whole thing, and you know, plugs, wires, all the stuff I already mentioned. Of course, I'll throw some engine. Well, I've told you this before. Every like second or third oil change on my older stuff, I always run kerosene. It's basically, they call it engine flush. You see it in the gray bottles at AutoZone or whatever, and O'Reilly's. But it's basically just a quart of kerosene. And then once it gets really hot, you know, I'll pour that in and let it run for about 20 minutes, and then I'll flush the whole system out. And like this, because it's obviously been neglected, and the oil that is leaking is really nasty looking. I'll probably do that a couple of times. But I'll put plugs, wires, and all that stuff, and change the oil, look at the air filter, fuel filter, get the tires rotated. The front end is bad on it. I know it's bad because of the, let me shut this thing off. Whoever pulled it before I got a hold of it, which, you know, GM and a lot of them put these plastic deals underneath there and they always break them. But let's see if I can get you under here. Look at this. I know it's going to be hard to see. There's the sway bar link. It's broke in half, and that's the one off the passenger side next to it, because it's also broken in half. I bet you this thing goes down a road and rattles and makes all kinds of noise. But the steering has a tremendous amount of slop in it. Yeah, that was just from sitting up there and moving it back and forth. I could feel that it's rough. So, you know, it's going to need some work. I bet the rear main seal's leaking. Yep, I do see the rear main seal leaking. That is also kind of a common problem with these Gen 1s. Let me get out of here. If it's really, really bad and the oil change makes it worse or doesn't help it, then I may just pull the transmission back and stick a rear main seal in it. It's not that hard. They're one piece on these years. Like the new stuff, the Gen 3s and 4 LS based stuff is a single one piece. And they did that. They actually started that in, I believe it was 87 with the throttle body engines and stuff. They put single piece rear main seals in, but it didn't make any difference. They leak just as bad as the two-piece rear main in the original Gen 1, so that's kind of how it works. You get about 50,000 more miles on them, that's about it. But all right, guys, I'll keep you posted on this if you're interested in it. I'm going to give it a good bath, try to get some of this red to come back, because it's It's probably the camera may or may not be picking this up, but, and I can't see what you're looking at. There you go. I can't even get that off there, but it's got the black scaly stuff on it that it sticks to these. It's tree sap and dirt and everything that blows around. A lot of it's, you know, a lot of it's just from sitting. Tree sap's a big problem around here, being that far east in Kansas. But anyway, guys, I'm happy with my $500 purchase, and we'll keep you posted on it.